Hello everyone, welcome back to another Vidmas video. This is actually the last Vidmas video in English, so welcome. Today's video is actually a requested video. This is a makeup for beginners. This is a simple Christmas makeup for beginners. I tried to make everything very simple and I explained every single little thing that I did in this video, so I hope that this will help. This was requested by a family member, so I hope you like it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. If you're interested in watching how I did this look, then please keep on watching. So I already did my skincare routine, but it's been a little bit since I washed my face. I washed it this morning, so I just want to freshen it up. So I'm just gonna use my toner, which Hazel toner. Should probably take this off so you guys can see. I'm just using my witch hazel toner, the rose one, and some cotton. I'm just gonna use this to freshen up my face before makeup. So make sure that you have a washed, clean face before you use makeup. It really helps a lot with the ending result. It's also important to use the correct product that goes with your skin type. Sorry guys if I seem tired, it's because I am. We had a little bit of a long day today, but we're pulling through. So now that that's fresh, I'm just gonna wait for it to dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna put on my moisturizer. The one that I'm gonna be using today is the Ordinary Beauty Company moisturizer. This is the Natural Moisturizing Factor. Okay, so we're gonna wait for that to dry off, and then I'm just gonna start with my brows. The eyebrow pencil that I'm gonna be using today is actually a new one. It's by Maybelline. This is the Brow Precise Micro Pencil. I really love this because of the pointed pencil applicator, and also it has a spoolie, so of course I love it. What I'm doing here is just I'm filling up the bald spots on my brows. If you have perfectly nice brows, you don't have to do this step. What you need to do is make the back side of your brows darker than the front side. So you need to be a little bit heavy-handed in the back side and light-handed in the front. Use the spoolie to bring the color from the bottom up. And to tame the brows. I'm gonna try and use this brow gel thing from Makeup Revolution at the end, so I'll show you guys how I use that, but I'm just gonna fill in my brows first. Because I have actually brow hairs, I need to tame it a little bit. So, and also because this is a Christmas makeup, we're gonna need to use a little bit of other products for our brows. Now you can just use like a regular eyeshadow color, that's fine also, but I'm using this Revolution Makeup Revolution. This is a brow palette. And then I'm just gonna use this dark brown for the back of my brows, this for the front, and then I'm just gonna put this gel on top of everything after. I'm gonna be using a angle brush for that. This is how an angle brush would look like. This one is from BH Cosmetics. Like I said, if you have already a perfect shaped brow, you don't need to do this. You just need to comb them through with the spoolie. gonna use a separate spoolie. Then just stick the wet gel with the spoolie like that. Alright, I'm pretty sure it's gonna stay in place right now. Okay, so now we can go ahead and move back to the face first. Okay, so starting with the face primer, I'm just gonna use my Wonder Skin by AOA Studio. This is the poreless primer. This one doesn't really blur pores, but I like to use it to moisturize my face more. So I'm starting from the outside and then bringing it in. I usually start from the inside out with primer, but because this one doesn't really do much, I'm just gonna start it from the outside in. Okay, it sets pretty quick, so we don't have to actually give it some time to set too long. So we're just gonna move on to the foundation already. My foundation that I'm gonna be using today is my Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation, and I'm in shade 220. I'm gonna be using this because the primer is moisturizing and I put a really good moisturizer on, so it's okay, even though I have dry skin, to use this. So I'm just gonna take it and put it in the back of my hand, and then just take that much. You can always increase the amount that you put on your face later on, but that's just what we're gonna use for now. We're gonna take a kabuki brush, meaning a brush that's this dense, flat like this. This is from Wish, but you can just use whatever you have. There's like e.l.f. one that's like this also. There's Makeup Revolution that's like that. So any brush that's flat like that is good for foundation. So I'm gonna take it with my brush and distribute it all over my face first. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and pat it on my face, then doing a circular motion like this to distribute it. Don't forget underneath your eyes, just look up when you put it underneath your eyes. Depending on the coverage you need, that's how much you put on your face. So if you don't really need that much coverage, just need to even out your skin tone, then you don't need to apply too much of the foundation. My camera cut me off. Anyways, we're gonna continue on with the foundation. I need to add a little bit more because of my pregnancy mask. I need a little bit more of a coverage. Don't worry too much about the under eye if it's not even like this, because we're still gonna use concealers after. If your foundation is a little bit light, don't worry about it. We're gonna be doing a contouring later, so you don't really have to worry about that. Okay, alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to concealer. The concealer I'm going to be using is the Maybelline New York Fit Me Concealer in Sand. I really like this concealer because it's very liquidy, because I have really dry under eyes. So I'm using this concealer as a highlighting as well. So these are the places in my face that I want to highlight. I want to brighten pretty much. Then I'm just gonna use this Flawless Concealer brush by e.l.f. and I'm patting it like this, looking up. Be very gentle on this area of your face. And then I'm patting it like this to pretty much kind of pulling the products a little bit outwards, just like so. So my hand is right in the middle, not all the way here, not down here, but in the middle. So just the same as on your under eye, you pat it and kind of pull it a little bit outwards, just like so. So you see how my face is a little bit brighter on this area now? That's what we need. Okay, so the next step is cream concealer. I'm just gonna use my Maybelline Master Contour in medium, and I'm just gonna use the back of it obviously for the contouring side. I'm gonna use a brush to apply this because this tends to not be very precise, so I'm just gonna use this type of brush, taking it from the product. Then where your contour is, from the top of your ear, that bone, that is the bone that you need, that straight bone that goes down. Okay, so we're gonna start from here, from the ears and going down. It's not so much on the hollow of your face, it's a little bit above it. Okay, then we go following the hairline, not adding any more products on your brush, just following the hairline. Just push and pull, push and pull to give a little bit of shadow. That's what contouring is, pretty much, to give it a shadow to your face, to make it a little bit thinner. Okay, just taking a little bit more product and putting it on my jaw. Then this one, you just gotta pull it down. You make a little dot, then pulling it down. The reason why you need to make dots instead of just pulling things is because you don't want to move the foundation that's right already under it. So taking more products and doing the other face, the other side of my face. As you can see, I'm not touching the highlighted part at all. I'm just putting it around it. Okay, now because we used cream and water-based products, we need to use powder on top of it to set it so that it does not move around. So first we're gonna use a loose powder. I'm just using my e.l.f. loose powder in sheer. If you have yellow powder, that would work perfect as well. This is my favorite powder in the entire world. So I'm just gonna take the powder, put it on the cup, put some on the cup. This usually I use a sponge to apply it, but since we're not gonna use sponge today, I'm just gonna use like a brush like this. Just take it, cut off any excess. Make sure that your eye, you don't have any more lines on your eye because it's gonna be set. Once you put the powder on, you cannot move it anymore. So look up, or you can just do this, look up and set the powder. Press the powder on your face like that. So we're not doing baking today, we're just setting it. Okay, be very gentle when pressing under your eye area. It's a very sensitive part of your face. Okay, get more of the powder, tap off the excess, look up, and set it. Pretty much setting all the areas that you put the concealer earlier. Because it's not baking, it's setting, you don't need to wipe off any products. Okay, now that that's done, we're gonna move on to that's the contouring, and we're gonna move on to bronzer. So the bronzer that I'm gonna be using is this BH Cosmetics palette. I really like this palette because you can also use it as eyeshadow if you really wanted to, actually. So if I didn't use loose powders, I could also use these colors right here to set my concealer. This is perfect for the T-zone that I just did, or you can also use any of this depending on your skin tone. And okay, so today I'm gonna be using this too as a bronzer. I'm just gonna mix the two and set the cream contour that we just did. I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Small tapered brush. Mix the two, tap off the excess, and I'm just gonna do a dotted, just like the one earlier. Then now we can put we can move the brush. So at first you need to dot it so that you can set the concealer, then you can move your brush a little bit more after that. For here, I don't really like to use more products. I just use whatever I have on my brush for the middle of my forehead. So put your hand in the middle of your brush and just gently bring the brush over your contour to lighten it up a little. If you need to, you can bring it over. Don't ever bring your contour down, you can bring it over. So once again, contouring is just pretty much creating a shadow that will make your face appear a little bit thinner. Alright. Now we're gonna contour my nose, because a lot of people tend to always say something about my nose. I'm gonna be using this brush right here by AOA Studio. It's a high definition brush, E109. Then I'm just gonna use this colored contour right here, but first I'm gonna cream contour it first. I'm just gonna use this flat brush from AOA Studio. Then I'm just gonna take the cream contour and then just contour the side of my nose. So you go down like this. And just wipe it over here. Then you go up towards your eyes over here, and of course on the other side. To make it appear more natural, you need to bring it up over here and down here. Okay, you can just bring it up a little like this. I think I put mine a little bit too low, so I'm just gonna bring it up just like that. And then now I'm gonna put the powder on top. And if you contour, if you just went a little bit heavy-handed on the contouring, you can just grab a clean brush and just tap on it. But I think we're good. Alright, so now that that's done, we can move on to the blush. The palette that I'm going to be using is actually this Nude Rose Sculpt and Glow by BH Cosmetics. This is a contour, highlight, and blush palette. It pretty much has everything I need here. I'm obviously not going to contour anymore because I already did that. But I'm just going to use this blush right here. It's a very light pink blush. And what I'm going to use is a stippling brush like this. This will help you a lot if you tend to be heavy-handed with products. This will make the blush less. This will pick up less products. This is AOA Studio High Definition Brush in E106. So how I'm taking the product is just swiveling it around like this and tapping off the excess. Then I'm just gonna do the same thing on my, so for me, I like my blush be high up here to pull my face up. Some people like their blush right on the apple of the cheeks, and that's fine also. Just this is just by preference. I'm just bringing whatever left on my brush up here, doing the same thing on my other face, on the side of my face. Okay, and then once that's done, we're gonna move on to the eyes. I'm not gonna do highlight yet. I'm gonna do the highlight at the end, so we're just gonna move straight to the eyes now. For the eye base, we're gonna use the same concealer that we used on our face earlier. So I'm just gonna use the Maybelline concealer. This is great because, like I said, it's not dry, it's very fluid, very liquidy. And then I'm just gonna use my hand for this. I usually use a sponge to distribute it, but I'm just gonna use my hand. Bring it all the way up to your brow bone, because we're actually supposed to define our brow too. Forgot to do that. The way you push the product, you push and pull, just like how you do the brushes earlier. You push and pull. Your hand is actually warming the product also on your lid, so it's very good to use your hand on many things that you do with makeup. Okay, this eye didn't really get much, so I'm just gonna define my brows right now. So I'm gonna put a straight line underneath my brow. Already kind of did that one. So I'm gonna take a flat brush like this to define my brows. You can also take just a regular brush like this. You just need to be very precise with it. So I take it and I just pretty much flatten it around the brow that we just defined earlier, and bring the leftover on top. Just be very light-handed on top because you already have foundation on. You don't want to mess that up. I'm just using my finger to just blend it over. Okay, try again this side of the eyes. Then just warm it up with your finger. Wow! I finally know how to do brows, guys. If you're a very long time viewer, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, once that's done, we need to set the concealer, right? Because it's wet. I'm gonna use the same powder that we used earlier, and we're just going to, this is really good with, once again, with the sponge, but I'm just gonna use a brush for this. So I'm just gonna use a fluffy brush. Any fluffy brush you have is fine. Just take a little bit from the powder and put it all over your lid. Top of the loose powder will help your eyeshadow to glide on very easily as well. Okay, so now that's done, we're gonna move on to the shadows. This is my favorite part. The palette I'm going to be using today is my Jaclyn Hill palette, but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I am not going to use like crazy colors. You actually could just use the contour palette that I showed earlier. You can just use this for the entire look, except the glitter part or the shiny part that I'm gonna show. But yeah, I'm gonna use this because I love this palette so much, and I just got it, and yada yada yada. Anyways, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is actually use this color right here. Use this color right here underneath the brows. This color is called Silk Cream, I believe. Yeah, this is Silk Cream. So any color like that, similar to that you have, is fine. We're just gonna use like a flat brush to apply it. Just right underneath your brow bone. It's right where that concealer that we just put it right on it. There you go. Once that's done, we're gonna move on to the transition color. So we're not gonna use a lot of crazy colors. We're just gonna use the color right next to the one we used earlier. So this is MFEO. Thanks, camera. My camera stopped me again, guys. But use a fluffy brush to put MFEO, and lightly just hold your brush like this, and that's how you take the color. Okay, tap off the excess and hold the brush in the middle, and we just put it right underneath the color that we put earlier. Just bring in your brush back and forth like this, not all the way here, just here to here, just back and forth, just like that. As you can see, it's not really showing because that's what we want. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the crease color, meaning your crease is this side of socket of your eyes right here. That's the crease, so that's where we need a little bit of darker color, not too dark. Just gonna go right here underneath the colors that we used earlier. I think this is called Pooter. Anyways, we just use this color right here, and we're just gonna put that on the crease. You can use the same brush you used earlier, or just a little bit smaller but fluffy brush, just like the one earlier. Then you bring your eyes up and you put it on the eye socket that we talked about, just right there. Put it on the eye socket from the side to the middle, so you don't bring it all the way in, because you want this side to be very clean and clear. You can be a little bit heavy-handed on this one because you want this color to show a little bit more. Alright, so now we need a little bit of a dancer brush because we need to pack on the color of the outer corner. You can bring a brush like this. It's a little bit denser and angled. This will help you a lot. If you don't have it, you can also just have a fluffy brush like the one earlier, but a little bit denser. Or you can just use a brush like this. So any type of brush like that is good for packing the outer corner color. The outer corner color that we're going to be using is actually this brown right here. This brown is called Mocha. Yeah. So we're just going to put that color in the outer corner. So if you don't have an angle brush like this, it's the same thing. You just bring the brush and angle it like you're making a V on the outer corner of your eyes right now, okay? Bringing it down and bringing it up. Right on the crease where we put the color earlier, but just staying on this side of your eye. You don't bring it all the way inside, just here and here. You see how I moved my brush to bring it downwards like this? So I'm just feeling this side of my eyes. So at the end of the day, this is what you need. Just dark side. That side very dark. Alright, now to the fun part. We're gonna put a base first. So we need a flat brush. Medium size one would be good. Yeah, we're just gonna use this one. This one is from Morphe, but you can just use any flat brush like this. And actually we're just gonna go straight to the color we need. We're gonna use this color right here. It's called Beam. We're gonna use Beam and put it all over that the lid color that we didn't put any color on. So grab the color and just apply it. You see? So you start from the inner corner inwards. And then you try to make it meet with the dark color over here. So I'm pretty much swiping the color right now, doing this motion. Okay, once it's about to meet each other, just use a blending brush to blend it so that there's no straight streak line. See? Just like that. If you want, you can also use your finger to do this. I feel like the brush is more precise, but the color would show a lot more with your finger. We're not doing a cut crease here, we're just doing a little arch to make the eyes look more wide, more awake. So you can pack as much of this color as you want actually. Alright you guys, so that's pretty much the top of the eyes. Just gonna use those colors on the bottom of our eyes now. So I'm going to start with this color, and then I'm gonna end up with the dark brown that we used earlier. So this color. So I'm gonna start with the light brown first and then the dark brown. What kind of brush you want to use is a brush like this, a pencil brush. Then you put it right on your lashes pretty much. I don't like to bring it all the way in, but if you want to, you can. I just put it all the way until here. Just gonna use the angle brush to put the dark one because I want it to be a little bit heavier. And I'm connecting it with the edge here. It's almost like a triangle on this side of your eyes. The eyeliner I'm going to be using is actually from e.l.f. This is their no budge retractable liner. It does budge, but it's okay. I put it on my waterline. If you're a beginner and if you are afraid, don't do this. You don't have to. Just put mascara on your under your lashes and you'll be good. So I put liner on my waterline and on top of my tight line to just make it a little bit smaller, make my eyes a little bit smaller. You definitely don't have to do that. Today we're not gonna use falsies because it's a makeup for beginners, and I don't think you need falsies to begin with. So I'm just gonna use my mascara primer. So this is the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer. I'm just gonna put it on my lashes. Just gonna put it on my lashes to make it a little bit thicker. As you can see, it's white first. Then when it dries a little bit, then you can put a dark mascara. So for the for the lower lash, you need to look down when you apply mascara or mascara base to it. Look down and then look down into your mirror like this. The mascara I'm going to be using today is the Falsies Volume Express. This is the waterproof one by Maybelline. Okay, the way you put mascara on, just the same as earlier. You look down into your mirror like this, and then you put the mascara from the roots and you kind of wiggle your way up. It's pretty much brushing your lashes, pretty much. Just try to not let your lashes clump. Clumping means stick together. So you tilt your head back like this, look into your mirror, and brush your lashes. Okay, so now that the eyes is done, we're gonna go back to the face. Pretty much I'll have highlighter and then lips. For the highlighter, I'm gonna be using my Fenty Beauty. This is my recent love and I really just want to use it. But you can use any highlighter you have. So the brush that I'm gonna use for my highlighter is a brush like this. This is for the eyes, a fluffy brush, but you can use any brush you have, just small enough for your nose, you know. So you just take a little bit of your highlighter, you put it in between your eyes like this, in your on your nose. You see, right here, just there. You don't make a long line, just right there, and right on tip of your nose. You see that effect? Make it a little bit more. Doing it like this, make it a little bit more natural. You put a little bit on your cupid's bow, meaning your lips right here, and then on your cheek, the high points of your cheek. You can just do it like this if you want, or you can just do it like highlight though. Okay, for lips, you have a lot of choices. You can use just a regular lipstick like this. This is mine from Balsam. This is the Toxic Cherry. Or you can use a liquid lipstick. I think I'm gonna use a liquid lipstick today. This is from Kiko Milano. This is a little bit of orange red, but because I already used this Balsam in one of my looks before, I don't want to use it again. So that is why I'm using this one. So just go ahead and apply your lipstick. This is the hair you have when you spend all your time in the kitchen and didn't have enough time to fix your hair. And then we're just gonna finish up by using a setting spray. The one I'm using is by L'Oreal. This is the Infallible Pro Spray. Alright, so this is pretty much the finished look. What do you think? Do you like it? Would you recreate it? I don't really like the lips, but that's what I have right now, so that's fine. The one that I used was the Kiko Milano, and this is in, what is this, 06, I guess. This was gifted to me by my friend from Paris, but anyways, you can use any red lipstick you have. You'll be fine. Excuse my hair, I'm so exhausted that I don't really have time to do my hair right now, but thank you so much for watching. Thank you for requesting the video. I hope you like it. Alright guys, so actually this is the very last video in English, the very last video in English for Vidmas for this year 2019. Thank you so much for all of you who have been following since the beginning until the end, and also Merry Christmas to all of you and Happy Holiday. I probably will have one more video for the end of the year, so I'll see you then. But yeah, Christmas is the day after tomorrow, so in a day and a half actually, because it's really late at night right now. But yeah, that's pretty much today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to catch me up in my social media. If I'm not on YouTube, I'm always there. Sorry, my hair is really bothering me, but this is what we have to work with today. Alright guys, talk to you in another video. Bye.